they have given this opportunity. So let me start my talk because I have time limited. So I am trying to put it in a sort of history, because for India, we have to understand how this has been in shape with USA and other global. So I'll be focusing first in the USA, where they are being successful, and then we'll see the Indian shale prospect, and then the companies which are involved, and the challenges of the unconventional reservoir, which is the shale gas reservoir, the formation evaluation challenges, and the gas producibility, and finally the challenges which we are facing in India. So with all these plan, I would go ahead. So history of shale gas, as you can see, it is quite long back in USA, 1821, which is in Devonian Drink Shelf in New York. Then during 1927 to 62, Columbia Gas System Service drilled tens and hundreds of wells here in Devonian shells. Then in 1981, the first Burnett Shale, which is in Texas, they have been creating a huge profit and also filling their gas budget. So we'll see that also. And then in 80s GRI, they have sponsored many projects, which is also is going to become one of the important in our country also. So numerous publication core measurement guides they have formulated. Same will have it for our country too. So future shale gas assets, as you can see that USA, uh, the Energy Information Administration has stated that they constitute 29% of primary energy production in the United States. So just imagine, shale gas itself 29%. So in 2008, shale gas production was 5 billion cubic feet per day, and then 8% of that North American gas production, and with 70% attribute to the Burnett shale gas. Just imagine one play is giving a huge resource to the country. According to this, the EIA, the Energy Information Administration, production of natural gas from shale formation is expected to triple by 2030, and that too of 4.2 trillion cubic feet, and representing 18% of the total US production. So you can imagine how much the shale gas is actively playing in this non-conventional. So if I show the data where India stands with respect to North America, who is doing for almost a century, and now they are in a peak. So they are almost producing, they have an estimated resource of 4,450 trillion cubic feet, whereas India has 100 trillion cubic feet. That is not uh, a small amount, it's also a big amount compared to other countries. China is also presently producing shale gas only, and they are around 925. So similarly with other countries also, you can see from this data. So if you look at the United States, initially where the shale gas was not so much, there were, but just see after 2008, the entire the pattern on the entire situation has changed. It has taken a major portion of 30%, where this yellow one is the onshore conventional oil and gas, where this is the Alaska, and green one is the coal bed methane, and this is the this is the Alaska, and this is your corresponding offshore. So you can see the proportion of 30%, which is, so this is really significant. So in India, which is now we are now no, in our fraction, this is almost nil. So we can really give a big jump to our energy security. So let us see the Indian shale gas prospects. So if you see overall India, these patches like in our Damodar Basin, Krishna Godavari Basin, Kaveri Basin, Cambay Basin, these are the prospective basins. Whereas the Vindhyans, which is near to your university, then we have the Godavari Basin, Assam Basin, and the Rajasthan Basin. So they are also equally they can be. So they have not spent much on the exploration, but these are actually they are almost in a verge of ready for production, ready for means it can be so in this situation, on this year 2021, 31st March, government has cleared five uh, wells for Krishna Godavari basin, of which they five of them got environment clearance, and they have been pumped 250 crore rupees for exploiting or producing shale gas. So this would be the first venture in India, and if it is, and that is supposed to be successful. This is the Cambay Basin, as you can see, from Ahmedabad to the Tarapur and your Brouch, and these are the from Mehsana depots, and also this Surat. So you can see there are really we have this prospect in this basin. Similarly, you can see for the Krishna Godavari where the five wells, so they have typical grab and hose structures. Okay, so in these grabens they are expecting the prospective, and already they have planned five wells, and already you can see there is they have a very good setup of pipeline, etc. So already, so India has started where already conventional hydrocarbon is being produced, so there they are going to exploit the shale gas. This is for the Kaveri Basin. Here also we have such deposits. So the shale gas, as you know, they are formed by these the ancient deposition of the sea or the lakes or the rivers. So where abundance of organic carbons are there. So the depressed and the deposited the organics are the main target for us for shale gas. Similarly, for the uh, the the Jharia from the Raniganj to this the Bokaro and Karanpura. So they are also prospective for this shale gas, the Damodar Valley. So if you look at this table, and if you look at the main target, which you look at average total organic carbon. So if you see the Krishna Godavari basin, which is almost 6%, it's quite good. And the thermal maturity is another thing we have to look, that is 1.6%. Clay content is quite high. So basically these are the two things we look at, and compared to the others, next the Damodar Valley is 4.5%, and Cambay is 3%. Similarly, Kaveri is 2%. So we have a very good prospect, and as in government of India has started for Krishna Godavari, similarly we can go for others, and we can really bridge the gap. So let's talk about the USA. So you can see in USA, the like we have shown our prospect. So their shale gas plays are in like the Barnett, which I was talking about, the Texas, which is facing almost the 70% of their for the North America gas. So you can imagine that the small basin of this is, so they are the so many of them they are already exploiting. So they are able to for this age in hand, they are able to bully the other countries, the Middle East, for crude, and they are now dominating very much. The players you can see for American, these companies are their own parent company, whereas our India's Reliance Energy is having 45% in Eagle Ford, joint venture with Atlas, and other foreign companies like Statoil, Norway, Total. So in India, already ExxonMobil is there. Reliance itself can also take up. So already ONGC has taken. So we have only the challenges of exploiting, and hopefully with this the Krishna Godavari basin will be successful, and we can lay the road ahead for it. So this is the actual for best idea for the students. So I have meant this topic mainly for the students who will get the motivation, because the department itself having a key uh, parameters which can be involved with this shale gas can be studied. So if you look at this, the conventional reservoirs, which are much shallower, okay, and this is the coal bed methane, and this is the shale gas layer. Okay, so in shale gas, we don't have the conventional trap kind of thing. We have all these, the source, the reservoir, and the structure, everything within this the shale layer. And we are looking for the shell and corresponding tight sand gas, etc. Okay, so we can exploit such. So reservoir characterization, what we do for these unconventional reservoir formation evaluation challenges like lithology and mineralogy. This is very important because the shell is very much complex. They are tight, and we have to understand the mineralogy so that we can do proper hydrofracking, break and generate in artificial pore space so that we can extract the free gas as well as the adsorbed gas. So the porosity, permeability, the water saturation, total organic carbon, then the geological characterization are like structural features and fractures, if there are, which would help in planning the hydrofracking much better. Geomechanical reservoir characteristics, how much pressure, etc., so that hydrofrac can be designed properly. Then the sweet spot identification, where we have the gas, etc. So increasing development by horizontal, lateral, or multilateral. So that is the technology we has to do in this case of shale gas. So mainly these are dominating. So horizontal, lateral, and multilateral. So this select optimal location of lateral placements. You have to select so that you can exploit maximum lateral extent as much as possible. So must be a fracture stimulated to produce at economic rate. So effective frac design minimize the formation damage and maximize the productivity. So this is the main target. So now you can imagine why we are talking about environment, because this can create a pseudo earthquake, and microseismicity monitoring is must. And that's my interest in one aspect. And of course, I have been doing for mining. So we can do for this case of reservoir, and we can really optimize and see how much it is being minimum affected by our environment. So we as a geophysicists and the environment scientists should act like pro to the support for energy security of the country by thinking about solution, how to reduce the hazard, etc. So shale gas reservoirs are very, very complex. Why? Because complex matrices of silt to clay size fraction of different minerals vary in composition. Okay, so that is concentration which each play. Complex matrices serve as a both seal and reservoir, as I said, for gas. So must be a fracture stimulated to produce economic rates. So difficult to predict the success of stimulation strategy. This is usually for conventional reservoir, it is possible, but for this unconventional reservoir, unless until you do this mineralogy study and other complex fracture study, you are not able to design your frac process. Hydrofracking means you are creating a artificial pore space. So due to the lack of integrated petrophysical models that can predict the reservoir property, that contributes success and failure of stimulation. So this is very important as a geoscience people, geologists and geophysicists has to play a role in this. So the gas shell players objective the reservoir quality first thing. So select the optimal horizontal lateral location, storage capacity, gas in place. So this is what we have to look as a geoscience people. Then gas production, flow capacity, gas deliverability is how much flow is there. That is very must. So that will take up that whether my reservoir is going to sustain or not, and whether it is going to be a long life. So mechanical property impacting hydraulic stimulation, that is also very important. That leads to gas production. Identify the preferred lithofacies for fracture. So this is most important. Otherwise, you are not able to create proper, gas extraction. So it's typical. The image of this, as you can see, the 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 shell, which is for, of course, Marshallese shales of Pennsylvania. So similarly in India also, this it would be same almost. So what are the things we are doing? An integrated approach, which I meant. So we are doing resistivity log, density log, neutron log. So that characterize the presence of gas, the shell, etc. Then NMR, which is very much helpful for understanding porosity, fluid typing, and the total organic carbon, because it talks about the NMR means nuclear magnetic resonance log, which is very much important because it talks in a microscopic level, and it is very much beneficial for understanding the reservoir porosity, and it is very advanced log also. So the mineralogy, the one which is especially the which the geologists will be helping must, geochemistry, lithology, mineralogy, total organic carbon, and thorium, uranium for carbon classification. Because more carbon, more kerosene, and better we will have the prospect of shale gas. Then you have rotary core analysis for understanding that actually whatever we have understood from log, whether it is so or not. Then we have image logs, which is very important in this case because we have to understand the structural and sedimentary analysis, stress determination, fracture characterization. Because image log is like you have acoustic imaging and electrical imaging. So they takes the direct boreal image so that you can understand these fractures and all those very nicely, so that you can properly design your hydrofrag uh, process. Similarly, the acoustic geomechanical property, which talks about the elastic nature of these pore space, the rock strata of the shell, so that we can do proper perforations. So mineralogy, if you see here, if the black one is the kerogen, which we are looking for typical, but if you look clearly, it doesn't have consistent mineralogy. This is the typical problem of the shale gas. So there is no typical shale gas reservoir mineralogy. So this is the best example. Similarly, departure from conventional well logs, that is very important because we are mastered in conventional, how we'll tackle with shale gas. So shale gas formation are source reservoir and cap rocks. So they are all together, as I said. So that makes it little bit different than conventional. Then presence of structural and stratigraphic trap is not essential, but organic content and maturity are pertinent. Without that, shale gas is no meaning. We cannot prospect shale gas. So shale gas reservoir contains both free gas in the pore space and adsorbed gas. So that's the free gas technology we can measure, but adsorbed gas is the one we have to do it in a addition in the matrix of shell. Okay, so what we do to understand the adsorbed gas, total organic carbon, which is most important property to relate the volume gas of shell, kerogen content, that is kerogen insoluble sedimentary organic matter dispersed in rocks, So by reflectance coefficient RO, okay, this vitinide reflectance, which is usually used for coal. So this would be used for here for thermal maturity to understand whether it is, so unless until it is carbon is there, kerogen, but it is not thermally matured, then it will not fetch you the gas and oil, the shale gas as you were expecting. So increase with increasing effects of time and temperature. So thermal maturity during burial, as you can see, almost 0.2% to 3%. So usually up to 10%. So here we have little bit higher end. So how we calculate this level of organic maturity from the vitrinite reflectance, this formula is used for students. So language isotherms have been defined on this basis, so which helps us to identify the adsorbed gas. So you can see here with the thermal maturity increase, the gas flow is also increasing. So the brittleness also should also increase. So this will help you to understand that how important the thermal maturity along with this brittleness. Where you can see the brittleness understanding, we have to understand the clay, the uh, the the carbonates, the quartz, okay, so the calcite, so proportion of how much we have with respect to this quartzite, so that much we to define how much it is brittle. So more brittle you can frack, means you can break it and you can generate more and more gas. So typical well log for gas, as you know, the SP, which is, you know that it is full of shell. So the SP value, which would be negative because of shell is having the water and electrically charged. So that has been identified. And also the resistivity log, which would be showing you correspondingly for the shale gas, and the neutron density cross plots would show you that, overlay would show you that how much gas is there. So these are the conventional typical well log of across the shale gas. So the reservoir parameters being evaluated are the identification, delineation of reservoir, rock mineralogy, type and volume, porosity estimation, kerogen volume, total organic carbon estimation, and quantify total gas. So these are the things we have to look for hydrocarbon. So if you see, most of these are X-ray wise, you are defining the minerals. So geologists will help. Geochemical analysis for kerogen, geologists, core analysis for porosity. Again, we have So along with the well logs and with this mineralogy, you can, so geologist has a huge role in this. You know that gamma ray spectroscopy, each element has its own electron, so it can scatter. Compton scattering will help you to identify these minerals. So this gamma ray spectroscopy is very important along with the geochemical method. So it's very important. So tools which are available is mineral volume from core analysis, conventional method for log response. Okay, so you can see the pore space is having water and gas, but the minerals having calcite, clay, quartz, dolomites, kerogen, pyrite, apatite. So this is the mineral lithological model for a shale gas reservoir. So kerogen volume, core uranium relationship, then your total organic carbon through multi-mineral petrophysical models using kerogen as a one mineral. Okay, so you can see the kerogen how with uranium yields it is increasing. So more kerogen, more shale gas. Similarly, the the to quantify the total gas, you have core calibration, gas volume in pore space, and gas volume adsorbed, as we will see later on. So these are the things we are actually looking at. So you see the gas yield along with total organic carbon. So how it is increasing. So this is very important. So total organic carbon from logs, you can see like the spectral gamma ray, as I said, uranium enrichment, gamma ray bulk density, gamma ray intensity, delta log R, neural networks, which is now students are really interested, the artificial neural network, or we call it nowadays AI and ML, pulse neutron, nuclear magnetic rocks, NMR, which I have shown. So you see these how the sonic log record is total organic carbon, how it is responding. Then you can see that how the density log is responding. Then you can see how the neutron. So all these are very much helpful for us to identify. So see, they are very much correlatable, and we are able to use it. So for sonic and resistivity overlay, this difference del log R would help you, so that will separation will say that how much organic rich interval it is. So basically you can see this plot, that how this del log R along with the level of maturity is being related with total organic carbon. So this is how you have to estimate the level of organic maturity. So the better level of organic maturity, better you will get the uh, the the carb the amount of hydrocarbon. So we have to look at these plots, and accordingly, total, so you can see total organic carbon is increasing. So according to this characterization is very important. So the gas shell players, as I said, that they have to look at this optimum horizon lateral storage capacity, and gas production means flow capacity, mechanical property, and identify preferred lithophysicists strategy. Okay. So the gas producibility is very important. So fracture analysis, identification and classification and orientation of marginal class, open, conductive, and drilling induced fracture mainly. So this has to be very much well uh, understood. Then only your gas would produce. So hydrocracking would be done. So you can see that permeability is very low. It is in nanodarcy. So usually in millidarcy we have for conventional reservoir, but here it is in nanodarcy. So easy hierarchical fracturing, it require mechanical stress analysis, formation brittleness study, and fracture closure pressure. So without this, we are not able to improve our permeability. If we are not able to improve our permeability, we cannot produce gas properly. So fracture migration study has been done, so which would predict the pressure initiation. So these are typical for mineralogy has been shown. So this we can understand that how which mineral it would work properly. So shale facies approach, which is very much in for Barnett, where many cores have been available, and variable mineral composition, total organic carbon, and varying mechanical property. So they are being shown, they are not homogeneous, they are all unique, and you have to understand. So in that, they have found that siliceous mudstone has made a very much uh, favorable, because siliceous mudstone, as you know, is very much having lot of living organisms of algal and of these paleo time. So it could help you to fetch more, and they are also very much brittle, so it can have better gas recovery. Whereas other, they are not so organic, or the phosphorus mudstone, etc. So if you don't integrate all these, you will land up to a disaster. And that's why I said I have chose these topics for this department, because this department has so many wide field, and it's really a good department which have started by the institute. So the main frac job is postponed. If you have a blowout recently, in Assam, the conventional borehole has collapsed and fire has taken. So we have to be very careful, and without this data properly you cannot avoid. And so, but our job is not to create hurdle for the government or the progress of country. We should think about how to optimize and how to reduce the hazard. So that's why I would say that India has a very good prospect for shale gas from the from these our competency of analysis, our competency in our creating the proper integrated approach from different experts in the field. So shale gas can be further quantitatively explored within India. And as I said, already KG Basin has been started with 5 wells. So laboratory analysis within India is optimum, as I said. So in your institute also, you can start very much with, I have recently seen in ONGC one presentation by a United States professor. They are making a consortium with industry, academy, research lab, and they are able to really exploit, and they are becoming a partner in producing and developing the country's economy. So we can overcome production challenges. This is the major hurdle. So this shale gas can fill the gap of Indian energy security. So this is very, very important for us. So thanks for, I think I have finished in time, just 1 minute delay. So if you have any question, so I must thanks the organizer for this opportunity. So please, now you can, please. Sir.
Sir, Professor Roy,
Yes, sir.
your lecture was very interesting. It was on shale gas and key to future energy security. I came to know about the shale gas about 15 years back.
Yes, sir.
And about 3 or 4 years back, my son-in-law, he was working in shale company in USA. So I came to know about the importance of shale gas. Shale gas is now going to a big energy source in coming time. And
Yes, sir.
as your slides shows that this is a major source of energy in coming years,
Yes,
because we have already scarcity of energy, and
really, sir.
this will be fill the gap. But right now, as you suggested and you have very well pointed out, the whole scenario, that how much is production in India and how much in the world, how much reservoir is available in different part of the world. So we have to look into this important source of energy. And as you have pointed out very well, that this slide is for the students,
Yes,
especially so that they can learn what are the other sources of energy. So how we can fill the gap in demand and supply. So sir, very interesting the information you have given in this lecture. And indeed, not only students but the faculty members, they will also enrich their knowledge about the energy sources. So earlier I was also thought that what is this shale gas and what is this energy, but now I came to know that this is a very important and very good source of energy, and we as a developing country we must look
yes,
the availability of this energy, that how we best can utilize this, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your very informative talk. And you have discussed how shale gas in future energy security. You have nicely discussed about the shale gas productivity. So in India, where we stand in the world scenario. So these things are very important, sir. Sir, on behalf of the organizing committee, I thanks a lot to you. And,
thank you too.
and sir, in coming time when the things will become better from the COVID pandemic, so we would like to have you in our institute, in our department, and in our university in
Yes,
physical presence, sir. So we will
yes.
wait for you, sir, to welcome
I,
our
yes,
university.
I'll be really glad to meet you, like workers of your stature and your young Turks who are really doing very well. So you have chosen very good people around you. So I believe this department will become one of the best in the country in the future. So
Thank
my best wishes, and
you.
I'm
We
really thank you for this opportunity to
appreciate
share with the
your
students.
guidance and support, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for
Thank you.
spending your valuable time for this conference. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I welcome Professor P.P. Singh, sir, Head Department of Geology. Sir, I am audible to you, sir. Professor P.P. Singh, sir. Professor B.P. Singh, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I am audible, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, I welcome you in this international conference on recent advances in earth sciences, sir. Sir, before going to hear your lecture, sir, I would like to introduce you to the delegates. Dear delegates, this lecture is by Professor B.P. Singh, who is head Department of Geology, very important department of BHU, and the title of the lecture is Northward Drift of India During Paleogene, Evidences from Paleosol. I briefly introduce Professor B.P. Singh, sir. Professor B.P. Singh, sir, is in Department of Geology, BHU, and he is heading the department. He obtained his BSc and PhD, MSc from BHU. His research interest encompasses sedimentology in general and Himalayan geology in particular. His research emphasis is mainly on Paleogene sequence of Himalaya and Lesser Himalaya evaporatories. Professor Singh has published more than 100 papers and associated with various organizations. He has several projects under him from the national funding agencies. Sir, organizing committee welcomes you in this international conference and we are eagerly waiting to hear you, sir. Basically, I am professor of environmental science, but I am having a great interest in geology also because in my BSc, one of the subject was geology. So I have great respect and regard for professors of geology like you, sir. So I welcome you in this conference, sir. Please share your slides and please give your talk. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Professor, for myself. I basically will take you to the past because geology is the study of the past and the many things happened, particularly the tectonics and climates. They are the two important factors which influence the geology of any region. And of course, we all know that continental drift that was proposed by the Wegener is one of the very important ideas in geology, and particularly India during the Paleogene period, which has been proved by the paleomagnetic results.
Issue. So we will just begin as soon as internet is available.
Okay. So now for drift of India was there during the Silvic period, and of course, evidences of paleosols they also suggest the same thing. Now, so am I audible? So this is the Alfred Wegener, who proposed the continental drift theory, and this theory suggests that India moved several times. And of course, if we see Indian position, India is like this, India was like this, and then here, it collided with Asia. So India changed its position, and before colliding, there was a sea between the India and the Eurasia, and of course that was known as the Tethyan Sea, Neo-Tethyan Sea. दिख रहा है? नहीं कोई बात नहीं. So if we take the magnetic polarity study, the India moved from 71 million years ago up to the present, up to 10 million years ago. India was at the 71 million years ago, the equator, and then it came into the northern hemisphere, and then ultimately at the 10 million years, the Indian position was like this. So this magnetic polarity self indicates that the India moved northward, of course, from 71 million years to the 10 million years ago. So if you take the paleosols as a result of surface weathering and soil forming process in the soil zone, paleosols form in specific climatic zones. For example, the atoll forms in the warm and humid climate. The stone forms in the wet tropical conditions, and the galaxy soul forms geomorphic stability and tectonic with tense periods. Paleosols are at the
boundary and they indicate low-strength system tracks. Development of paleo source involve ample time. For example, pedogenic calcium farm between a time span. They farm in the different climate zone. Calcium soil, gypsy soil, vertical farm in the dry subtropical climatic wells. Argilly soils, the photosols, they farm in the moist mid-latitude, and photosols, glaze soils, they farm in
मैंने तो सर को मैंने सर को इतनी बार मेल किया मैसेज किया फोन किया तो फोन नहीं उठाया और अगर तैयार है तो वेल एंड गुड हम लोग को कोई दिक्कत नहीं है
we have worked on Himalayan water formation, Murray and Saxide formation, industry valley group. And of course, we mainly concentrate on the Subato formation and the Saxide formation. This is the area which we work, which we work. Now we have in stone which suggests an unconformity here. Then we have, these are the bauxite exposures in the Jammu area where we have the bauxites and the value source. They are above the Precambrian basement, and then we have the laminated solid bauxite, impure bauxite. Then we have the coal and carbonaceous steel, and then we have the limestone. We have analyzed the bauxites, and bauxites, they are rich in alumina and they are also rich in silica. So it is impure bauxite which is also rich in silicon, and the CIA we calculated and it comes around the 100. So CIA 100 indicates a strong leaching and alteration of the bauxite. So this indicates the strong leaching, and the bauxite occurs at this alumina end here, which is similar, which is bauxite and chloride. We have done the rare earth elements of this bauxite, and of course they show uranium, this European anomaly, negative European anomaly, and of course their composition is very similar to a base salt. So we have interpreted that it has been produced from the weathering of the base salt. Then we get the coal, and then above the coal bands we get the limestone. So coal bands are here, the carbonaceous is there, and then coal bands are there. And coal bands, they are the histosols. Basically, they are banded. We are getting the banded coals here as the histosol, and of course, we have the dull and light bands here in this histosol. And we have done the petrography of this coal arrow. We get the kaolinite, and we get the hemipyrogenite, we get the camphor pyrite, we get the organic structures also in this coal. The coal, they have been formed in the limnotelmatic condition. Limnotelmatic condition means the lake was there, and of course there was a high T density. So in these lakes, so the coal comes in the limnotelmatic condition. Then we get the calcareous. Calcareous, we are getting the above the brown marble stone, we get the calcareous, we get the powdery calcareous, we get the nodular calcareous, and we get the laminar calcareous. So we get this is the autobrexation on top of the marl, which also indicate the farming process. So we get the powdery calcareous, nodular calcareous, and the laminar calcareous, which is the calcareous solar article. These calcareous profiles, they indicate the arid and semi-arid climatic conditions. We did the detailed study of the calcareous profile. We did this petrographic study of the calcareous. The rhizolith, we get alveolar septal fabric, we get the fungal borings and fungation, we get the filamentous structure, and particularly the rhizolith. Micropodium, we get the then we also did the cathodoluminescence study, and we found that the calcareous, they have been made up of the channels, and then the coatings, they are there around the channels. We also did the CME study. This is the micropodium, then filamentous structures, then we get the exogenated crystals in the rhizolith, and then we get the pellets within the calcareous. Then we also did the stable isotope oxygen and carbon isotopes. We found that they show the negative carbon and oxygen isotopes, and the values are more than -8 in both the cases. And we found that they show along the profile there is covariance of the oxygen and carbon isotopes. We also calculated the level of atmosphere and we found that it was around 400. And if we see the Indian position on the basis of the paleosols, oxysols, they indicate that the northern India was around near the equator around the histosols that the India was at the northern India was at the now calculations they indicate that India was at the 20 degree north, 23 degree north at the 35 million years ago. So these temporal variation of the paleosols also indicate that the India shifted from the equator to the 23 degree north latitude, and this is already done in the paleomagnetic study. So our paleosol record also suggests the same thing, and this shows that the oxysols sites of the Jammu area farmed in the warm and humid climatic conditions in the northern India was near the equator. Overlying histosols developed in the intertropical convergence zone around 10 degree north under the humid to subhumid climatic conditions. In the higher of the calcisols, erisols originated in arid to semi-arid climatic conditions in the northern India reached the dry subtropical climatic belt around 20 degree north. So I am very much sorry because our internet connection has failed several times, but I think this research we did, and we found that the paleosol record also suggests that the India drifted northward in the Paleogene times, and of course this is in accordance with the paleomagnetic results. So thank you for your patience hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, BP Singh sir, for
Thank you, sir.
relevant
There are some questions. I will be happy to answer that.
Sir, we are very happy to hear your lecture, and it was very informative also about the northward drifting of Himalayas during Paleogene, and you have discussed in the light of Paleososis. Sir, because of network issues, sometimes there was problem, but anyway, whatever knowledge we can gather from your lecture, it was very important aspect of Himalayas and its drifting. On behalf of organizing committee and on my own behalf, I thank you for sharing your valuable expertise on Himalayan and geology and sparing your valuable time. Because of COVID-19 pandemics, we are having this conference on online mode, but next time we will have to see you in our institute in physical mode so that we will have more interactions and we will not have this internet problem also. So once again, sir, thank you very much, sir. We are grateful to you for sparing your valuable time. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for inviting me.
Okay, sir. Okay. Now, next lecture will be of Professor A.R. Siddiqui, sir. I think Siddiqui, sir, is already on the line. So, sir, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. I can hear. Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, sir. Audible, sir. So,
Okay,
sir,
nice. Thank
very
you very much.
good, sir. Before talking about your lecture, sir, we would like to introduce you to our delegates, sir.
Okay, sure.
It's very nice that you have given your precious time for this international conference, sir. For the delegates, I would like to inform them that Professor A.R. Siddiqui, sir, is presently head Department of Geography, Allahabad University, and he has obtained his BSc, MS, and MPhil PhD degree from prestigious Aligarh Muslim University. His specialization is in arid zone research, urban environment issues, and application of remote sensing and GIS in land degradation studies. He is also holding the post of Secretary General, Indian Institute of Geomorphologists. Dr. Siddiqui has published more than 38 research papers in various papers of repute and authored 3 books. He attended more than 70 national and international conferences. Professor Siddiqui is member of various national bodies. So, sir, I welcome you, sir, in this international conference. Our delegates are interested to hear you, sir. Sir,
Thank you, sir.
sir,
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Thank you very much.
your
Um,
topic of talk is also very interesting. That is recent trends in geographical studies and role of satellite derived data and geoinformatics. Sir, thank you for giving us time, sir.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I would like to congratulate the most dynamic and vibrant Vice Chancellor of your university, Professor Ravi Shankar Singh ji. He is a good orator and well-recognized scientist of India, and he is very well known in abroad also. And I would like to congratulate all the members of the team of this conference, international conference. And I would like to congratulate faculty members of Institute of Earth and Environmental Science, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, University, Ayodhya. Today, I will discuss about the recent advances in geographical studies and what are the changes in methodological knowledge and how geography has been shifted in applied aspect. And this will be my thrust area. As we know, geography is geography is mother of all sciences, and every discipline is related with the geography. So, of course, there are some researchers are from geology background and some from life sciences and physical sciences. But geography is having common interest to all, and I think every aspect should be will be covered in lecture. And but I want to cover many dimensions of the geography. Then I will move in different dimensions of geographical knowledge. So this will be more beneficial for those who are going to start their academics, their research interest in geography. So may I share my slide also, Dr. Shazia?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, I'm sharing. Slightly, I will move fast because there are many slides related to different branches of knowledge. So please bear with me. So this is my topic: recent issues in geographical studies and role of geoinformatics. So as we know, the most accepted definition of geography is concerned to provide accurate, orderly, and rational description and interpretation of variable character of the Earth's surface. And this definition was given by Richard Harshon in 1959. But this is very important point to understand those who are working in the dimension of the geography and what is the dualism and dichotomy in geographical field. So there is a dichotomy between traditional knowledge and adaptation of applied aspect in geography. So there are three things are important, like for any subject, philosophy of the subject is more important. Like in geography, we consider Earth as a home of man. So here it is very important to know the dimension of the diversities. This is very important for all the discipline, whether it is geology or earth science, or whether it is geography or sociology or demographic studies or population geography. So first of all, philosophy of the subject and subject matter of any subject, like linkages to many other disciplines. And third important things are to methodological advancement. How researcher is going to adopt the methodological advancement. Earlier, we were using the statistical techniques and field observation and qualitative and quantitative techniques in the discipline. But how we have adopted the geospatial technology and use of remote sensing and satellite drive data, and there is a major shift from surveying to use of computer to added cartography, and after added cartography, then use of satellite drive data. So these are the important aspects. Another important aspect here, to know the different perception of the subject of the geography, like geography as a description of the earth, description as a geography as a description of interrelationship and interaction between man and environment, is very important aspect for environmental sciences also. And geography as a description of regions and complexities of regions. As you know, Thornbury, a major well recognized geologist, had mentioned that complexity is more common as compared to simplicity. So to know that complexities of the earth's surface is very important for the researcher. And geography as a synthesizing science, geography as a description of spatial integration. So here you see philosophy of the subject matter, and methodological advancement is very important aspect. In the discipline of geography, there are some pioneering work. I want to draw your attention the work of H.K. Spade. He has written Geography of India and Pakistan. Really, when you will see this book, all the aspect of geographical knowledge he has nicely arranged, and he has presented many relevant information. And but now in the subject we are seeing that there are some textbooks are going on, but students are not concerning any original kind of text from where all the books have been written. So these are the important and well recognized books related to India and Pakistan. And 20th century is very important, because 20th century in 20th century there is a classification of agriculture, classification of climate, and major natural region. All the classification have been published in the 20th century. If you are working in the dimension of the geography, it is very important to know all the classification, whether it is related to the climate, or whether it is related to the culture, or whether related with the agriculture. All these are aspects are important. So we acknowledge the work of D. Whittlesey, and likewise I will mention here in 1826 theory of agricultural location was given by von Thunen. But after 200 years of time, we are teaching in PG and UG syllabus of the geography. So this is the relevance of the theory. And after 200 years, the theory of agricultural location has relevance in the syllabus of the geographical studies. So we have to see in the history of 2000 years, from Greek works to medieval Arab geographers to modern geographers, and which theory is still existing. So this is the work of David Harvey, and this is known as Bible of Geography. Like Explanation in Geography was written by David Harvey in 1969. So these are the important and pioneering work which I want to share with geography students. And this is the work of A.J. Haberson, the senior geography. and he has classified major natural region of the world. And those who are preparing for civil services examination and those who are doing researches, they should know what is the importance of a major natural region. If you have studied about the major natural region of the world, I think 40% of the subject knowledge will gather from a book related to these aspects. So this is a very important book, has been written by Dudley Stamp, a British geographer, The Land of Britain, Its Use and Misuse. In India, during First World War and Second World War, there was no information about agricultural production. There was no any other was classification of land use and land cover. And the 20th century, even after 1970, it is very important. Professor Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has written India Vision 2020, and you will find there is a calendar, because innovation history of India is very short. And last 50 years, we are all are aware about remote sensing technology, about any innovation, you will give reference of last 50 years only. So earlier there was no any data in books of geography. There was no any tabulation, illustration, or derivation. Only descriptive book was written by different scholars, and there was no any statistical information before First World War or Second World War. So this is very important to know the work, pioneering work in the field of geography, whether it is related to F.K. Schaeffer or G.T. Trivartha. And those who are working in the field of sociology, as we are aware, most of the, I think 50% researchers are going in the field of sociology on the basis of population characteristics like birth rate, death rate, migration, occupational structure, work participation, literacy, sex, age, sex pyramid, and all these information and data is important in humanities and arts subject. So this is very important. He has written a book, World Population Pattern. After 1953, we have been able to know about the population characteristics of the world. So these are the very important aspects. If you are working in the field of geography or geology, it is very important to know the basic information which have been published by different Indian and foreign scholars. Here you see there is a Leonard Wilke. He has written Historical Understanding in Geography. This is a very important aspect, but I will move fast because after first part of my presentation, I will go through the applied part of my presentation. This is paradigm in geography. Paradigm means shift of knowledge from one phase to another phase. And very important book, The Structure of Scientific Revolution. This book was very published, and this book was published in 1962. And the second edition of this book was published in 1970, The Structure of Scientific Revolution. So these are important references, those who are doing researches in the field of geography. So here, different types of description, and take an example of different universities of India. When you will collect the data and you will find out and you will rate the submitted PhD, how many PhD have been submitted and under the cognitive description or morphometric description, and how many PhD have taken in their methodological basis, cause and effect analysis, temporal analysis, system analysis. So we have to correlate about the discipline of geography. Every university is known for their specialization. Just like Aligarh is known for doing researches in agricultural geography, Banaras is known for doing it in researches in the urban geography, and Chandigarh is known for population geography. JNU is known for regional planning. So, and in many universities, Bengal and Pune is known for coastal geomorphology. So every university, on the basis of their geographical location, they are doing researches in related field. So here you see J.F. Lyotard, a very famous sociologist and French philosopher. He is known for postmodernism theory in the geographical studies. So these are the some references which I am presenting before you. And this is Michael Foucault, and he is very well-known French philosopher, and he has given about concept about postmodernism also, and history of specific or for local place, and he has given emphasis for local place or specific knowledge. So these are the important aspect. And Michael Deere is also very famous in the discipline of geography, and he is known for writing cultural landscape and place making, and also known for economic landscaping of post-Fordism and philosophy and theoretical dispute related to space and problem of languages and the construction of individual and boundaries of itself. Generally, our student and researcher are involved in reading textbook and subject matter of geography. But if you are doing researches, then you have to keep in the mind and how much review have been made by the researcher. So these are the important aspects. And now I want to discuss some more important and relevant aspect of the geographical knowledge. Suppose we have done BSc, MSc, or BA or MA in geography, but only we are knowing the survey of plain table survey. But there are different types of survey instruments which have been covered in different universities, like in +2 level and BA level and MA level, and also these instruments used in PhD or MPhil related field. So these are the important instruments, and you have to gather the information related to the geographical surveying instrument and which instrument is used for which type of work. Like plain table survey is very important, telescopic elidate, theodolite, total station, and all pantograph. All these instruments are important, but we are having very little knowledge, and we are studying practical knowledge only for the purpose of examination. But if the syllabus is based on syllabus is there is a ratio of 40% and 60%. So then we will cover all the practical aspects. But only practical is only generally in universities started in the month of October and November, and we close practical session in the month of February. But in the field practice, in the practice, practical knowledge is more important, and we are giving emphasis on the theoretical knowledge. So my humble recommendation to the teachers of geography to adopt these survey and these practical knowledge to the student, because in practice, whether you use the GIS software or remote sensing, in practice, use of this instrument and practical instrument is very important. And we are not having much knowledge about surveying and survey techniques. So we are using ArcGIS, ADAS Imagine, Maxent, Ilvis, and different types of software in the processing of data of remote sensing. But we are not knowing the sensitivity and integration of software. And suppose we are selecting the projection and we have selected wrong projection, automatically we will get the wrong result also. Many important other works like Geography of Puran and India regional geography and researching geography, physical geography, all these important. But in India, we are studying geography, but we are not knowing the contribution of Indian scholar. We are following foreign geographers and foreign research work, and those research work translated from German to French, from French to English, but we are not knowing the contribution of Indian scholar. Here you see the Professor Munis Raja, Professor S.P. Chatterjee, Professor Muhammad Shafi. These were the pioneering scholar in the branches of geography, but we are not downloading the work of Professor Muhammad Shafi or Professor Munis Raja or Professor S.P. Chatterjee. And we are not knowing the journals. Even research scholar are only seeing the list of UGC care journals and looking the journals, those who are publishing from the different universities. But we are not looking the international journals like the geographical journals and Annals of American Association of Geographers, British Geographers, Economic Geographers, Progress in Human Geography, Geographical Review, Political Geography. So first of all, if we have enrolled our research student in PhD, then our moral responsibility to provide a list to our student to know about these journals. These journals published from the different part of the world. First training should be concentrated to the student related to the publication of the journals. So these are the important journals. Likewise, in every discipline, we have to prepare a very important list of journal because our students should know what is the stage of researches in the discipline of geography or geology or environmental science. So these are the important lists where our work can be published. So generally we ask to the student in the interview, tell me 5 well-recognized journals in your discipline. And generally students are blank, they are blank, and they did not give answer. So this is a very humble request to all of my friends and students and research scholars to download a well-recognized journals in their related field. Likewise, you submitted PhD and you explore the thesis on Shodh Ganga, and you will find 60% work, 60% work of PhD are based on statistical technique like standard deviation, correlation, linear regression, rank correlation, factor analysis, sampling, chi-square test, z-square test, Carl Pearson test, Spearman test. But during PhD coursework, we did not give any important attention to statistical technique. We did not give training to SPSS package. Generally, we oblige any senior professor, please give one lecture on this aspect, please give one lecture on this aspect. But this is a very serious kind of thing. We have to give emphasis on statistical technique. We have to give knowledge about the SPSS package because everything is important. If you are going to take any study area, here you see we have allotted a topic of PhD, but we are not knowing the what would be the unit of the study, and unit of study would be block level study or tehsil level study and district level study or state level study. But we are not confirmed about the scale of topo sheet. We are not confirmed about scale of land farm unit or land use studies planning. So all these are based on scale. Scale is very important, whether it is micro level, meso level, or macro level. So these are the important aspects. Sometimes we don't know idea about mini watershed, how much area hectare known as mini watershed area, micro watershed area, or milli watershed area, or sub watershed area, and what is the meaning of region and what is the meaning of basin, catchment, sub catchment, and watershed area. So these are the important work. And when you will recall the work of 200 years of geography, and you will find there are different scholars like essay and population, which was published in 1798. Here it is wrong written, 1769 is wrong, but essay of population was published in 1798. E.G. Ravenstein has given law of migration, and theory of agricultural location was given by Van Thunen in 1826. Likewise, major natural region was given by H.J. Herbertson in 1905. Alfred Weber, industrial location theory. Kristaller theory was given in 1933. Likewise, urban ecological theories, and first time forest classification of India was prepared by H.G. Champion, and climatic classification was given by Copen, Trivartha, Meeks, and S.P. Chatterjee, and Qazi Saiduddin Ahmad, and Whittlesey. Agricultural classification was given in 1936. First of all, there are many other study in geography like near neighbor analysis, in one agriculture efficiency, agricultural productivity. Earlier, we were not knowing the method of calculation of agricultural productivity and all these aspects. So we have to look into the references of the pioneering work by the geographer. Some notable work related to quantitative revolution in geography, like work of McCarthy and B.G.L. Berry and Garrison, Chorley, Peter Haggett about models, and G.P. Chapman, general system theory by Barton Lanfy, and models in geography, and Bennett. And these are the names. Simply you can take a screenshot and all these things. And T. Hagelstand is given by concept of time space in geography. So here you see, and we are following foreign geographers, foreign geologists, foreign environmentalists. But here you see the list of Indian geographer. But our student, UG student and PG student and research student, not knowing the work of Professor S.P. Chatterjee, not knowing the work of Qadi Saiduddin Ahmad, Professor S.M. Ali, Professor R.N. Dubey, was founder of Allahabad Geography Department, Allahabad University. He has written book in commercial economic geography in 1945, but in physical geography in decade of 1940s. But students are not knowing these pioneers. And Professor Alid Singh, Professor Chibbar, Professor Muni Saraya, Professor Jasbir Singh, and I have Professor Inayat Ahmad Saab, very senior geographer of India, Professor K.R. Dikshit, Professor R.P. Mishra, late Professor Shah Manzoor Alam Saab, Professor H.S. Sharma from Jaipur, Professor D.C. Goswami from Guwahati, Professor P.S. Tiwari, Noor Muhammad Saab, M.H. Qureshi Saab, Professor Abha Lakshmi Singh, Professor N. Chandrasekharan, Professor M.K. Bandyopadhyay, Sunando Bandyopadhyay, all these professors. So you see, we have to see what is the current trends in geographical studies. To whom we are going to adopt what type of methodology adopted by different universities, and you can explore the thesis of Aligarh Muslim University, you can explore the thesis of BHU, you can explore the thesis of Allahabad University, and you will find and what is the trend. So these are the philosophical basis. I will not discuss due to the paucity of time. I will skip this slide because this is the philosophical and related to history of geographical ideas. But we all know there are some stages, some paradigm of positivism paradigm, behavioral paradigm, humanistic paradigm, radical Marxist paradigm, and welfare paradigm. So I'm not going to explain all these things. But in positivism, it is said there is 4 things are important: inspection, examination, classification, and elaboration. So here you see, model is very important. Model is simplified version of reality. But iconic model, analog model, symbolic model, generally we use in software also. But we are not having knowledge about scale also. In the interview of degree college or inter college, when expert asks to any question, define scale, define types of map, and students are blanks. So this is very important to know the scale model, map model, analog model, mathematical model, gravity model, potential model, regression model, simulation model, deterministic model, historical model, locational model. So if we'll take knowledge in the discipline of knowledge, and you will gain many new things. So these are the shift of discipline in 19. These are the research potential in geography. Earlier, we were engaged in doing the traditional type of topics, as I have mentioned in the first part of presentation. We were engaged in taking topic of PhD, and generally we selected and we finalized traditional type of topic, like using statistical technique and taking any area like level of educational development, level of agricultural development, and socioeconomic disparities. But now the attention of new geographers, new students, and contemporary time students have diverted their mind in applied aspect. Applied aspect means what is the immediate need of the society, what is the emergent need of the society. And if you are going to allot PhD topic in geography, so there are some important aspects like water resource management, land resource management, disaster management, forestry and ecology, agriculture and soils, urban and regional planning, atmospheric sciences, climate change, extreme weather events, oceanic modeling, ecology and environment, disaster management. We are generally we are giving training to our students and take geospatial training from Indian Institute of Remote Sensing and GIS, Dehradun, and then you select this topic. So these are the current requirement and current need. So there are different type of environment. If you are selecting the topic, first of all, you keep in mind, if you are selecting lithospheric environment like mountain environment, plateau environment, pedogenic environment, river environment, lake environment. Now you relate your topic with these geographical environment, whether your topic related to mountain environment, plateau environment, plain environment, whether it is related to the settlement or human activities or any kind of services. First of all, you see what is your geographical location, and because the definition of environment is having wide sense. Environment means all the aggregate condition that affect life and development of the people. So we have to finalize our topic on the basis of geographical location, which type of complexity is there and which type of landscape is there. So these are the important aspects. But you see, take an example of India, and I'm giving this slide because you see India like this, and during lockdown period, during first lockdown period, when flow of labor from Maharashtra to UP, from Maharashtra to Jharkhand, from Maharashtra to Bihar, but the mobility of migration not from the it was not from the Uttar Pradesh to Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh to Karnataka, because this mobility was from developed region to developing region. But in terms of geographical prosperity, these states are located in Ganga, middle Ganga plain, upper Ganga plain, lower Ganga plain. This is a very prosperous region of the world. So you see, the population of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh is just equal to the United States of America, and the population of Madhya Pradesh is just equal to Germany or Italy, and population of West Bengal is just equal to Germany, and population of Rajasthan is just equal to UK, and population of Japan is near about Maharashtra. So you see, there are population deviation also. And take an example of northeastern state of India, and total of 17 small states and just equal to Uttar Pradesh population. So if you are going to allot the topic of PhD, first of all, you see there are different types of deviation, like physiographic deviation, climatological deviation, deviation in terms of population distribution, and all the type of deviation you should know. This is the history of India, and this is establishment of ISRO was in 1969, and establishment of National Environmental Engineering Research Institute 1958, Kajri yani Central Arid Zone Research Institute in 59, FRI 1906, Survey of India 1767, NATMO 1956. अब आप ये बताइए कि भारत में सबसे बड़ा जो रेवोल्यूशन आया, तो जब हमारी जनरेशन के लोग जो है जिनके सामने टीवी और ये सारी चीजें हैं, तो सबसे बड़ा रिवोल्यूशन जो आया वो गूगल के बाद आया, इंटरनेट के बाद आया। तो जितने भी हमारी नवाचारों का जो इतिहास है सबसे नया है। दुनिया के सारे देशों से हमारा कंपैरिजन इसलिए भारत इंपॉर्टेंट है और दुनिया के 10 देशों में गिना जाता है कि इतने नवीन नवाचारों के बाद भी, और हमने 50 साल के इतिहास में भी ये सारी चीजें हम लोगों की जनरेशन में आई, और आज हम लोग जो है बहुत सारी चीजों में दुनिया के बराबर खड़े हुए हैं। तो इकोनॉमिक एनवायरनमेंट हो, पॉलिटिकल एनवायरनमेंट हो, सोशल एनवायरनमेंट हो, लिथोस्फेरिक एनवायरनमेंट हो, नेचुरल रिसोर्स प्लानिंग हो, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स प्लानिंग हो, इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट प्लानिंग हो, अर्बन प्लानिंग हो, रूरल प्लानिंग हो, एग्रीकल्चर प्लानिंग हो, इंडस्ट्रियल प्लानिंग हो, आज सरकार, आज गवर्नमेंट जो है सबसे ज्यादा जो काम कर रही है वो स्किल मैपिंग के काम कर रही है। और कोई भी देश, कोई भी क्षेत्र अपने नॉलेज, अपने ज्ञान का विस्तार, और कहा भी क्या है कि हम अपने श्रम, और सबसे बड़ा संसाधन मनुष्य का ज्ञान और मनुष्य का श्रम है। तो एबिलिटीज की मैपिंग, कॉम्पिटेंसीज की मैपिंग, माइक्रो और माइक्रो लिंकेजेस में सबसे बड़ा रोल जोग्राफर का होता है। That's why I have opted this topic. So take an example of forest survey. So there is the issue of monitoring forest cover and changes. There is the issue of changes in density classes and changes. There is the issue of generation of thematic map. कोई आदमी नहीं जानता कि उत्तर प्रदेश में 6.88% फॉरेस्ट जोग्राफिकल एरिया, जो टोटल जोग्राफिकल एरिया है, उत्तर प्रदेश केवल 6.88% एरिया में फॉरेस्ट है। कोई नहीं जानता कि प्रयागराज 2.38%, लखनऊ 14.68%, झांसी 5.48%, तो वाराणसी 2% से भी कम जो है फॉरेस्ट कवर है। तो अगर इसकी मॉनिटरिंग जोग्राफर नहीं करेगा, टेक्नोलॉजी रिमोट सेंसिंग नहीं लाएंगे, तो ये आपकी सिचुएशन है। दिस इज द करंट सिनेरियो ऑफ फॉरेस्ट कवर। बरेली 1.09% एज पर 2019 स्टेट फॉरेस्ट रिपोर्ट, झांसी 5.48%, प्रयागराज 2.36%, मेरठ 2.86%. This is the real scenario. But what is the role of sensor? And we can gather the information as many remote sensing experts already have given information related to the sensors. But I will discuss one most important point. Our student and researcher are not knowing the data sources alone. जितने भी रिसर्च स्कॉलर हैं, शोध छात्र हैं, उनको यही नहीं पता चल पा रहा है कि हम डेटा कहां से पा सकते हैं। गूगल मैप, बिंग मैप, ओपन स्ट्रीट मैप, विकी मैपिया, इसरो, भुवन डेटा, बायोडाइवर्सिटी इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम, इंडिया वाटर रिसोर्स इंफॉर्मेशन नेटवर्क, IWRIN, these are the important websites, but our students are not knowing. Village information tagging, Pacific disaster center information related to natural hazard warning, ग्लोबल फ्लड मॉनिटरिंग डिटेक्शन सिस्टम, फर्म्स, यानी अगर फॉरेस्ट फायर में आप काम कर रहे हैं तो फायर इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट, ग्लोबल सीस्मिक हैजर्ड मैप, नोवा सुनामी डेटाबेस, इंडियन नेशनल सेंटर फॉर ओशियन इंफॉर्मेशन साइंस, मोडीज डेटा जो है फायर डिटेक्शन के लिए आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं। तो देयर आर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ डेटा सोर्सेज। और हम जानते हैं कि डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट में अगर आप काम कर रहे हैं तो इंडिया डिजास्टर रिसोर्स नेटवर्क की वेबसाइट में बहुत सारी जानकारी मिलती है, लेकिन कभी हम लोग गवर्नमेंट की वेबसाइट को एक्सप्लोर नहीं करते हैं। तो GIS is a very powerful technology. Earlier it was not possible to make the legend. Earlier you take an example of 100 years old book, you will find there is only 5 categories: very high, high, medium, low and very low. Now this is the beauty of software. You can display dynamic map and you can make up more than 500, more than 1000 legend on the basis of database. So here you see, and this is the simple GIS. If you are interested in street houses, you can extract the information from the image. If you are interested in landscape, you can extract the information. You can digitize all these aspects and you can process your data. I'm not going to explain the basic of the GIS. But fourth thing is important. Data is important, technology is important, application is important, and who is doing and who is processing the data, people is important. For geographer, perception is different. For botany person, perception is different. For physics people, perception is different. If the geographer is going to process the data, geographer is having common knowledge. Geography is mother of all sciences. And if you are taking training of GIS, so technology is important. Technology every day is changing. Every day there is a new software. So you have to update your knowledge. You have to adopt the geospatial technology, and time to time you have to upgrade your knowledge, and you have to verify your satellite data information with field, and what is the signature of high sand dunes erosion, what is the signature of single cropland, what is the signature of double cropland. If you are going to process the data with software, then you have to verify from the ground also which type of signature and what is in the ground. Here you see there is a stabilized dunes, but in another image there is a open dunes. And what is the process? How these dunes, the stabilized dunes have been open. And if there is a anthropogenic activity, if there is a growth of settlement, then you have to see what type of geomorphological changes are there in the image, and you can correlate from the ground. And take an example of impact of climate change. And this is this work in this small project. There were 5 countries was involved. I have completed 5 international training from United Nations. There is a small project on a plant species Suga domosa, and which is very common in Nepal, Himalaya, and in Uttar Pradesh, in Gangetic Plain also. But if there is a change of 0.5 degrees Celsius temperature, and what type of changes will be in different elevations of the mountains, where this species will appear or whether this species will disappear after the increase of 0.5 degree Celsius of temperature. So you see, this is the Nepal, and we have classified on the basis of elevation, and this is the general characteristics of plant species. And those who belong to botany, they might be knowing. And this is the research question: how satellite drive data is useful to prediction modeling on distribution of plant species with response to climate change. Simply, we have taken if there is a 0.5 degree Celsius temperature change, and how plant species will disappear from one place to another place. We have to map. So there is a Maxian software, very powerful software, and you can get data from WWWGBIF, Global Biodiversity Information, and bioclimatic data. You see, data is available, but students are not knowing. And you feel the condition, like you required annual mean temperature, you required maximum temperature of warmest month, you require minimum temperature of coldest month, you require mean temperature of wettest quarter month. Which type of data you require, you can select and you can download. And then there are some methodology, and after adopting methodology, you can run the model, and after a model, you can predict the information in 2020 and 2030 and 2050 or 70, and from which on which location this plant species will survive, on which location, which elevation this plant species will disappear. So there are many applications of remote sensing, and mapping of desertification, application of remote sensing, mapping of forest fire mapping, and active fire mapping, burned area mapping, fire risk donation. So I'm not going to explain the methodology, but everything you can get the data, data potential surface of temperature, MNDFI, PST, all these information you can get.
Professor Siddiqui sir. Professor Siddiqui sir. Professor Siddiqui sir.
हेलो, आवाज नहीं आ रही सर, हमको लगता है.
Sir, Siddiqui sir.
हो गया सर, हो गया.
Sir, I request you to please conclude it, because
sir, I have concluded. I think there was some issue of voice. तो लास्ट में मैंने एक स्लाइड दिखाई है कि दुनिया भर में 32 और 33 महीने क्लाइमेट जो एक्सट्रीम वेदर इवेंट्स और क्लाइमेट चेंज से रिलेटेड जो इंस्टीट्यूट हैं, मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि जिस फील्ड में बच्चे रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, वहां पर दुनिया भर में वो इंस्टीट्यूट को डाउनलोड करें, और वहां पे जो भी रिसेंट डिसिप्लिन चल रही है उनको वो वहां पर देखें, और खुद ही उनको पीजी के बाद, पीएचडी के बाद, एमफिल के बाद कम्युनिकेट करेंगे, तो वहां के प्रोफेसर से रिस्पांस मिलता है और दुनिया भर के किसी भी लैब में वो जा सकते हैं. Thank you very much. There was some disturbance of voice. I'm not sure how many slides I have covered, but I tried to give some input from my side.
Professor Siddiqui sir, very interesting and very exhaustive lecture you have delivered, and we have lot of information and lot of knowledge gained from this lecture. Indeed, as you said that geography is mother of all sciences. So definitely we also of the same opinion that we should go deep into the geography if we have go into the other sciences. So sir, you have discussed nicely various issues, and your discussion was on geographical studies, rightly pointed out that it is mother of all sciences. You have explained the dichotomy in geography, that is traditional versus applied aspects, and you have explained the linkages of geography with other branches, different perceptions. You have mentioned various important scholars and their books. Indeed, we have to study about Indian authors also, Indian geographer also, which is most important for the research scholars. If they have to continue their career in scientific field, they must know and learn about the Indian geographers also. So, sir, your advice is very important and your presentation is indeed great. So we request you that we will have your presentation and we will share with our research scholars also,
Sure,
because presentation provides basic information that how, what direction they have to do research, because they don't know from where they are getting data, from they will benefited or not, unnecessarily they are wasting time. So if they will go through your lecture, so they will get all the important information as you inform about the Shodhganga also. So there are various sites, various websites from where students can be benefited. Sir, thank you very much
thank you,
for
sir.
lecture,
Thank
sir.
you.
Next
Thank
time
you, sir.
have you in our university in physical presence. And right now our vice chancellor is in some important other meeting. So I will convey him about your feelings also and
Ji.
elaborate your lecture to him also. So very interesting, sir. So thank you very much, sir. We will
Thank
have
you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving me an opportunity to speak few words. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shazia. Thank you.
sir. Can you hear me? I am audible to you,
Yes. Hello.
Vinay Kumar.
Yes, Vinay Kumar.
Uh,
Sorry, my name is appearing as a Vihan Rajput. This is just the name of my son. I could not
Okay.
in the Google.
No problem, sir. We are actually sorry for some delay in your start of your lecture. Our previous speaker, he has taken some time more. Some internet issue was also there. So we are extremely sorry for that. Sir, we welcome you in this international conference on recent advances in earth sciences. And sir, for the delegates, I would like to introduce yourself, sir. Dr. Kumar is presently research scientist, Department of Environmental Engineering, Texas A&M University, Kingsville, USA. Dr. Kumar obtained his MTech in atmospheric physics and PhD in meteorology physics from Pune University. And I think your PDA from Florida State University also. So Dr. Kumar research interests include surface water prediction, soil moisture prediction, statistical multi-model predictions, hydrological aspects of monsoon, extreme rainfall prediction, and GIS applications. You have large number of publications and you have Best Paper Award in 22nd Silver Jubilee celebration at IITM Pune. I have some scientists known to me in IITM Pune. They were member of Indian Scientific Expedition to Antarctica also with me. Sir, great to have you in our international conference. I think you are having some time difficulty with Indian time right now. So before just starting your lecture, what is the time there?
6:25
In the
a.m.
morning.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think you wake up early in the morning. So
Yes.
sorry to give you trouble for this time management, sir. Uh, So we welcome you once again, and your topic is use of mesoscale modeling to stimulate atmospheric events and phenomena, sir. So you can start with your presentation, sir.
Okay, thank you for my introduction and the invitation. I am really happy. So please let me know what is my time on 20 minutes or 15. I can finish in that, not a problem. Okay, I will not extend.
No problem, sir.
So can you please see my slides? First
Yes,
slide,
yeah, visible, sir, visible.
visible, and my voice.
Yes, audible.
Okay, so good evening to everyone. So I will start my presentation like multi-use of mesoscale model to simulate weather and climate event. And my collaborators are Amit Bhardwaj from IMD New Delhi, Prabodh Kumar Pradhan from SU University Tirupati, and Tushar Sinha in the same place, environmental engineering at Texas A&M Kingsville. So the objective of the presentation will be the various forms of the WRF model for multi-use in science. So the similar way like the students use the apparatus in the lab and they use any instruments, chambers, or meter gauge, rain gauges. Okay, so they do the different experiments and they get the data sets. The similar way, you can use the WRF for different use and you can get the data. And then you can do the research. You can work on any project. And that I will tell you in the next slides, whatever I have done in my research. And so this weather and research forecasting model, WRF model. This is an open source, means you can download, you can distribute, and you can modify, and it is freely available to everyone. And this is unified model. Unified means you can use the model for various purposes and for various range of time and space. And it is quite popular and widely used throughout the world. And they have the 6 months or 1 year updates on their packages. And you can get the help through WRF user group. So after suppose you install the model and then you can join the group, and anybody else whoever is working in this WRF and different forms of WRF, they will help you. And lastly, they have the workshops and guidance at UCAR in USA. The contents, okay, here I will like to spend more time than the results, because that everybody will have a different kind of understanding and different kind of problems on which they can use this model. So I will tell you about the mesoscale and mesoscale events, because this is the model where initially were known mesoscale model, MM5, which was so much used in IIT Delhi by the Professor Monty and his groups. Okay, and then different WRFs and the various forms of WRF and WRF ARW, and that's just simulations and forecast of the rainfall. So I would like to show you some of the YouTube. These are I have taken from their website as well. They're very small, 26 seconds only. So this model provides the accumulated rainfall. So if you want for a particular day, then you have to subtract. You can see at the top, the 13 June, 14 June, 15 June, 16 June. Okay. So for a particular day, you have to subtract the rainfall from final to initial. And I have worked on the global WRF CAM, which is good for the air pollution and aerosol studies. And the next one is WRF Hydro for hydrology, for water usage and decision making and all. I will give the glimpse of this as well. So this WRF hydro, it is a part of national water model in US, and they give the prediction every every day. So in India also, you can use this model to simulate the stream flow or the river and the surface flood as well, water inundation. And the next one is WRF LES, that is used for the fog. WRF snow, that people use for the polar research. SWRF, hurricane forecast, for hurricane forecast. So I think for SWRF, one of the our friend and scientist, Mrinal Biswas, he will tell you more about the SWRF, I think day after tomorrow. Just I want to tell you that like this model has been used here in USA, in the National Hurricane Center, Miami, for the forecasting of hurricanes. But recently they stopped updating this model in last 1 year. So they are moving to HAFS, okay, and then UFS, Unified Forecasting Systems. But all other models of WRF are still getting updates every 6 months or 1 year. So why I'm paying attention on this? Because these models are very updated one, and you can get the help from groups and NCAR, UCAR, and their documents is very solid. And they have the WRF for solar also, and they have the WRF for fire. Lastly, I will show you this YouTube video, and you can understand how they simulate the fire as well. I understand these all other things are related to visualizations, but I wanted to give you a glimpse that how the different WRF you can use for different purposes. And the right side bottom, you can see the how many persons in the world are using this, is especially for WRF hydro. The similar way, the various versions of WRF are being used throughout the world. So it is quite popular. The last one, take home message. Like, so as I told you, like this is a mesoscale model, but it has been used for a n number of tasks, n number of problems in meteorology, hydrology, for aerosols, for snow, you name it. Okay. So temporal resolution of these mesoscale events are 1 hour to 1 day. Spatial scale is 10 to 200 kilometers. And the examples you can see like thunderstorms, MCS, scale lines, sea breeze, and eye of cyclones. But the people are using for fog and extreme rainfall events, hurricanes, typhoons, cyclones, you name it, snowstorms, stream flows, dust devils, and so many other things. And recently, not recently, means in 2013, I came through an email from Dr. Someshwar Das, and he explained it nicely that how the model is known as a unified model, because it has been used for the prediction of an event from 1 hour to climate scale. Okay, so and all, like I told you, documents are available, and so easily you can download the input data sets and all. So this is the overview, the WRF model, weather research and forecasting model. It is a compressible, non-hydrostatic, LR equation, and mesoscale numerical weather prediction system. So in right side, you will see a box. Okay, P top A, P bottom A. So this is a parcel. So in hydrostatic balance means the parcel will balance by the top force, P top plus weight of the parcel is equal to P bottom and multiply by area. So that is that a parcel in the air is in hydrostatic balance, but it is a non-hydrostatic. Means that's why you can use this model to predict the thunderstorms. In thunderstorms, that is the only thing, or hurricanes, the vertical velocity is so much higher than the normal time, because normally this is at the unit of centimeter per second, but in that it goes hundreds of centimeter per second. That is the only case. So this is open source. I already told you that you can download, you can distribute, and you can modify it, and it's freely available. And support parallel computations. Means means if you want to get the predictions early, so the model is itself in parallel mode. So you can run on n number of nodes on supercomputer and get the prediction in I can say in minutes. And it is principally developed from NCAR and SAP in USA. And development of code is mostly written in Fortran, which is a scientific language. And the model installation requires 4 to 5 libraries, especially NetCDF, because that is the requirement to create the input file for the model, and the similar way the output also delivered in NetCDF format. And further, it needs a suitable compiler and a server or your computer. Even you can run on your laptop as well, which may have the more than or around 10, but on computer, on your laptop, you may have 2 or 3. I think on that also it will work out. So workflow for the developer of Gauge, like get data from a website. They have well documented documentation, they means files where you can get all the information from where you will download the data for the input, like the geodata and meteorological data. Then process this data. They have the packages for that, like Domain Wizard and ARW, this post processing, and then they have the WPS for this, and then WRF. You run the model and then get the data sets and visualize. So these are the steps. Okay, and the right bottom, you can see that how the model follow the hybrid coordinate system, which is compressible, non-hydrostatic, and LR equations. They take care of the orography and terrains as well. And one thing I forgot here to mention that LR equations and Lagrangian equations. In LR, you fix the position, but in Lagrangian, your parcel also moves. So this is the little bit science and little bit how you can work. But you need not to worry about inside the model, because model is quite complex. It is difficult to change inside that if you want to. A single person, you have to have a group and you have to have a really good understanding, and then only perhaps you can edit it. Otherwise, if you have some code that I want to edit it, you run it. If successfully, if you can run, then good. If not, then you take the help from NCAR, UCAR, and they will incorporate your code into the model, and then you can make a new model. So like the similar way, like I am telling you, that's why they created so many models, so many versions of the WRF for snow, fire. CAM is really very big, hydro, LES, you name it. So WRF physics, like radiation for short wave, long wave, and microphysics, which is in the clouds, planetary boundary layer where we live, boundary layer and planetary boundary layer, and land surface. On the surface you have water and land, so you have to treat differently. And there is a turbulence and diffusion in the clouds and planetary boundary layer as well. And that's cumulus parametrization, which is in clouds. So this is a little bit science to tell you that and they have for these all schemes and parameterizations, they have the various separately options that which one you want to switch over. So for that, like you can read many of the papers from Professor UC Monti group, that they have used different schemes and try to simulate the, I think, cyclones and rainfall events. So finally, I will give you the more understanding on this numerical weather prediction from WRF. So atmospheric states, those are temperature, pressure, moisture, wind, and geopotential. These are the fundamentals variable you have to supply. And all the data sets are already available up to date, which you will take as an input. And then you have the software, that is WRF, governing equations based on fundamental equations of momentum, and this hydrostatic balance one, and the continuity equations, thermodynamic equations. These are the fundamentals only. And all the equations, those has derived from fluid mechanics. So you can say it is simplified physics, which is used in this model for atmospheric science. And I'm telling you here, like the more different models take the little bit different inputs for the various outputs for hydrology, for pollution, snow, or LES means planetary boundary layers. So all the streams, like you are from geology, geophysics, or geology, geophysics, and geography, and environmental science, you all can use these models. For geophysics, like you have terrain heights and different type of soils, and rocks and all, water and soil. So that goes in the WRF hydro. If you change that land cover, land use, then the model will behave differently. So your corresponding output corresponding to these input, the rainfall, temperature, floods will also be different. So like that, you can do the simulations. You can make your experiments, and you can get the data sets. And on that, you can write the research papers, or you can use those data sets for your project as well. So forecast, and then you can, with getting the forecast, you can use the different plotting softwares, visualization softwares. Those are also available freely. Like one of the number one at present is Python, which is very popular. And for this also, there is a lot of users and user group. They can help you, and no doubt Google is there to help you out. So in this, you just give the initial input to the model, and then model run for hours, or for days, or for years. So if you know the initial condition of the weather, you can forecast for the next time step. It may be the hour, it may be seconds, it may be days. So A forecast is equal to A initial plus FA delta T. So what is your delta T? This may be seconds and days and all. And with this combination, you can keep on going for the next time step. That is the simple formula. So you need not to worry much about it. Already they well documented it is, and in their file where you have to edit some for your purposes. That is also that how much time you will give, and how many input files you will give, how many days you will give. That is all well defined. So which I use in my work. Some of the work from WRF Hydro, and Global WRF and WRF Chem I will provide you, but which I have not done, like WRF Fire, WRF LES, WRF Snow. I cannot show you, but for those also are the codes and research works are already available. So this is a little outline of the WRF Hydro, like they have the vertical levels 27 to 43, but just giving the hint that you have to keep the almost same number of vertical levels in the input, and the and which in the input and which you are giving in the file of the WRF to run it. Otherwise there will be error. Horizontal resolution, it's up to you. You can run from 2 kilometer to 50 kilometer. I ran this model at 250 meter range. And in IBM, there is one from our friend, Dr. Tiwari. He runs the WRF hydro at I think 10 meter of the resolution. So for that means high resolution in space and time also, I think he do it for 15 minutes or 10 minutes. So you need a really supercomputer. But for your purpose, for student purposes, you can run this model on your laptop also. But keep in mind, there should be a 2 or more than 2 number of processors. And the other like think long wave radiations, the rapid radiative transfer models, short wave, the Dudhia scheme, and many other. These are the planetary boundary physics. What are the I have already covered, those all are here. And initial conditions you can get from NCEP, later bounding condition from NCEP, NFL at various resolution, generally 0.5 into 0.5 resolution. That is okay, that is general. And integration timestamp, you have to take it. There is some physics behind that, and that also means. So, with the help of Dr. Prabodh Kumar Pradhan, we tried to simulate this Felin cyclone, which was in 2013. And you can see using the different schemes, we are comparing with the IMD track in black. And other schemes are really fairly, they are doing good. So these are track based on the is following the low pressure systems. You can include in this wind speed also. Like the hurricanes and cyclones are generally predicted for the track and intensity. Intensity comes from the wind speed. So in first one, you see this is the red point is the center of the box. So like this, you can make the 2 boxes or 3 boxes. And the final output we are showing for the inner box, this right side one, domain 2, not for domain 1, because domain 1 is a coarse resolution of 25 kilometer, while the inner domain has a resolution of 8.33, which is 1/3 of the 25 kilometer. So you can make one more box here where it is landfall. So it depends on what kind of research you want to do. We try to simulate this cyclone using various schemes, but if you want to do the research where it has a landfall, so you can make one more box, smaller box, and that can have the resolution of 1/3 of 8.33. That will come around 2 point something. You can go to less than that also, depend on your resources now. So next research we did on the highest, wettest point on the earth. So first you have to decide anything, like any problem. Like we started to work on, these are the on a wettest point in the world, which is in Kauai Island, and these are the this is the 50th state of USA, Hawaii, which is the capital Honolulu, and it is more near to Japan as well. So most of the names were derived from the Japanese language. And this is the zoom picture of this Valley Hill and Kauai. So why I'm telling you this? See, you can compare this place with the Cherrapunji. The Cherrapunji, if just guess it, how much rainfall it may have annually. Around 11 meters in a year. So there are almost 5 points, 5 wettest points in the world. 2 are in Brazil, 1 is in Kauai, Hawaii region, and 1 or 2 places are in Cherrapunji, Meghalaya. So you have a problem, like why these places get so much rainfall. So we try to find out with this region, Kauai and Walia Valley in Hawaii. So we found there is a shape like a shoe, horseshoe. So this is orography, a horseshoe like this. So wind are keep on coming, wind with the moistures are coming. So its shape is like that. It will not allow to go the wind around it. There is a physics that if depend on the height of the hill, the wind will go around it or it will override it. If wind with the moisture will override on it, it has to give the rainfall. So keeping that concept in the mind, we try to simulate the rainfall over this region and then try to put that kind of hill in the Chennai region, Javadu, and we got the rainfall. So you have to, we modified the orography over that region in our Indian region. So this is the rainfall from the Walia Valley, Hawaii, and the model forecasted for the day one. And the correlation was almost 0.9. So with this, doing this, you can really reduce the water scarcity in any city. So this is next one is use of WRF, global WRF for the predictions or simulation of the heavy rainfall over various regions. So in this, the global WRF, as the name says, so we have only one domain, and the center is equator and 180° east. So almost similar kind of physics and all we use. I think I used default one only, but we kept the resolution 25 kilometers and vertical levels 27. So we simulated 3 events. Those were Leh flood in September 5 to 11, 2014, and this was almost 7 days prediction or simulations of the each event, and the UK Uttarakhand flood in 2013 and Pakistan India flood in 2010. On the left side, you can see this is the trim rainfall from 3B42. This is the right side one is the model simulated one. So in model simulation, somewhere that you can see the last one, event 3, it is simulating more than the trim. And in general, trim generally underestimate the rainfall over orographic region. That is one of the reasons. That it is the model seems to simulate more than the trim if you compare with. Oh, and the next one is WRF Chem for the chemistry purposes. So there was a problem that our Indian region, the number of depressions low were decreasing. So this is a problem. How will you solve it? So a problem can be, you can solve, you can think about in different ways. We thought about that, okay, in our India, pollution may be one of the region. Okay. In 2002, I think in 2002, number of depressions were 0. And most of the rainfall over that Indo-Gangetic plain, which is the region of the monsoon trough, you get the so much rainfall due to the movement of depressions and loss from Bay of Bengal to land region. So if we thought in that lane that the number of why the number of depressions are decreasing, and the region may be the pollution. So you can use the WRF Chem for that purpose. So we use the WRF Chem where we kept the low pollution conditions on the left side. You see the organization of convection around the rainfall system, but right side one, you put the heavy polluted conditions, and then you see the organization gone and rainfall has decreased so much. So like this, you can do the experiment on any problem. And this is the accumulated rainfall and wind pattern around. For the control one means when the pollution was low. But when you increase the pollution, you see there is no circulation pattern and the rainfall also reduced. So like this, you can compare the control and experiment. And like I have shown that some of the means we have increased, and that increased pollution, you can vary it. That also you can vary over a range to do more experiments. And this is the last slide. No, lastly for WRF hydro, which I am using at present. So on our Texas region, where I am living in Texas, on the region, surrounding regions as well. So I tried to simulate the soil moisture and land surface temperature. And here I could not show you the stream flow, that also I simulated, but this research work is in under writing mode. So take home message is this only. This is the open source, which is quite popular, updated, and available for everyone. And it has a a detailed user manual. And for model, there is a real estate data sets, visualization language like Python. These are freely available. Students can use and learners can also use. And one can simulate any events of weather, environment. And the model WRF is being used for forecasting purposes as well, for simulations and forecasting for both. That's all.
Sir, thank you very much, Dr. Vinay Kumar ji, for very interesting and very exhaustive lecture. First of all, I congratulate you for this WRF model, which is available online, and you can have data from this. So sir, first there are some questions. So I take few questions only because now time is running fast. And so if you allow, I can take one or two questions, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, please raise your hands, dear delegates.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Akhilesh Mishra Vinay.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for your talk. It was really very entertaining, very knowledge enhancing. So it was really nice listening to you. My question is about the WRF hydro. So I think it is very useful if somebody, because we in Indo-Gangetic plains are suffering from these occasional floods, and this you probably have seen in the news and all those things. So based on your experience, how good these forecast models are over Indian subcontinent, especially over Indo-Gangetic plains, and is it practically feasible, possible? Actually, Central Water Commission and other agencies, even Ministry of Earth Science is also using. Certain agencies are using. So is it really possible to use it in an operational mode? WRF hydro.
Yes. So like Mr. Ji, Tiwari, I think his first name I forgot. He's in IBM here in USA. So Tiwari ji, he's using this model at 10-meter resolution and 10 or 15 for minutes. So they have the IBM server. He's in IBM. So he's using that for the forecasting purposes. One more, like you told, can we use on the Indo-Gangetic plain? Yes, you can use. So depend if you have the data sets available. The land cover, land use is the one of the main. And one more, like these, all the models are the versions of WRF. So the input is almost same. So that geospatial data is one of the main thing.
Yeah, correct. That makes sense.
Yes, I'm sure you can easily use. I did not use it. I think one of the professor from IIT Gandhinagar, Akhilesh, Vimal. Yeah, he's using this model.
Many people are using in a research mode, but operational, I think I'm glad you mentioned about Dr. Tiwari from IBM, but that's obviously for from a commercial purpose. He's probably selling it. They are probably selling. IBM is probably different river catchment river basins, but it is certainly very useful actually if something like that can be done. I think.
Okay, lastly,
Yes,
Mr.
please.
I will tell you. This is the core model in national hydrology model in USA, and that is giving prediction like every day.
Yeah.
I think every hours. So they are using this model for the forecasting purpose in USA. So
Correct.
I don't have any doubt.
And the best part is it is open source. It is freely available.
Open
and
source.
what
Yes.
the-
And it is being updated every 6 months or 1 year, and they have the training as well.
yeah.
So I don't think
Sir,
that.
thank you for keeping awake at so early. I mean, getting up from your bed so early. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. It was really interesting.
Thank you for the invitation, Akhilesh.
Thank you, Mishraji. We have, I think we can take one more question. If anybody having any question, please raise your hand. One question, because time is short now.
And I wrote my email ID also. You can contact to me on anything.
Sir, it is better option that any questions we will send to you for through email, and we will get reply. Indeed, your lecture was very informative, and the model, WRF model you are showing, it is indeed a great help for getting data. You have very well discussed about numerical weather prediction by using mesoscale modeling. You have discussed about the orographic rainfall by using WRF modeling. You have discussed about the Hawaii rainfall, heavy rainfall situation, and it is due to its shape. And you have discussed about the global WRF, also idea of flood situations from the rainfall amount and modeling of extreme rainfall situations. Sir, the presentation is very good for the researchers who are working in this field, and they can use the this WRF modeling, so they can get data free of cost. I think Indian researchers and students, they should look into the model, and they can do research over here also, or they can use your expertise. So we will share your lecture to our students, to our delegates and participants. So if they will have any question or any interaction, or they need any further research work, so definitely they will love to interact you. Sir, with these few words, I am thankful to you on my own behalf, on behalf of the organizing committee, that you have spare your valuable time and your expertise. You are doing very wonderful work on this field. And as you are saying that USA is also doing forecasting by using this model. So it is proud of us also that the model is being used by such a developed nation. So thank you, Dr. Vinay Kumarji, for getting early in the morning and sharing your expertise. We will have next time you in our university in your physical presence, not on online mode, hoping that COVID pandemics will over soon. So thank you very much, sir. So nice of you for giving.
Okay, lastly, I want to let you know, hey students, I forgot to tell you that I am also from UP, so I can understand Hindi very well. So you could ask the question on anything and nobody should laugh. Any question, how, why, where, whom, anything, okay? I have given my email ID. Please ask me the question on anything. I will help from my expertise, more than expertise, okay? We have like Akhilesh Mishra is there, his friends, he's one of the best person I know. He has so many links, okay? So he can help you even more than me.
आयोजकों से अनुरोध है अगली बार हिंदी में करें सर मिश्रा साहब और अश्विन जी अगली बार इस तरह की अगर कोई कॉन्फ्रेंस करते हैं तो हिंदी में करें काफी लोग मिलेंगे स्पीकर आपको
हाँ मैं तो बोल सकता हूँ
अमेरिका से हिंदी में कोई बोलने वाला मिलेगा तो और अच्छा लगेगा थैंक यू धन्यवाद
Thank you very much, dear delegate. Now we are in the end of our today first day session. We have wonderful and very exhaustive session, and I thank to all delegates that they are still with us. They are joining this session also online. I am grateful to Professor R. Batla, Head Department of Geophysics, BHU, for his keynote speaker. Then grateful to Dr. A.K. Mitra, Director, NCM, RWS Noida, Dr. Lunan Martin from Netherlands, and Professor P.N.S. Rao for IIT Kharagpur, Professor B.P. Singh, Head Department of Geology, BHU, Professor A.R. Siddiqui, Head Department of Geography, Allahabad University, and Dr. Vinay Kumar from USA. The session was exhaustive, so we are not very late, just we are 35 minutes late in closing this session. Indeed, I am grateful to the morning session chief guest and guest of honor, the Professor Sunil Kumar Singh, Director, NIU. He was our guest of honor, and Dr. V.M. Tiwari, Director, NGRI Hyderabad. He was our chief guest, so I am grateful to them also that they were with us in our inauguration of this international conference. I am grateful to you all, the delegates, and tomorrow we will be meeting at 10 again. There is a young scientist competition also. On behalf of organizing committee and on behalf of the university, I thanks everybody, to all the participants and delegates for their presence in the first day conference. Thank you very much. Thank you. Jai Hind. Tomorrow link will be same. The link is same for the tomorrow conference also. There is no change in the link.